Good morning, everyone. Grant, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Sure. And Father, I want to take a moment to pause and thank you for all we have on a daily basis. We are grateful for the county board, for the decisions they need to make moving forward. Pray for the employees of the county and the public that you serve. Pray that you'll watch over and care for us as we leave this place safely today. Forgive us for sins in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Harville,
Here.
Commissioner Foster,
Here.
Commissioner Miller,
Here.
Commissioner Pitts,
Here.
Commissioner Gould. Colin?
On,
Oh, you got that.
okay. Commissioner Gould wants to join this morning via telephone since he's out of town, so, I'll make a motion that we allow that. Second.
Commissioner Harville, Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts.
Yes.
Hello. All right, I'm gonna put you on speaker. I can hear you, and hold on one second. All right.
Having a quorum.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning. Having a quorum, we'll call the meeting to order. First thing, approval of regular minutes on July 9th. Everybody had a chance to review those. Any additions or corrections? Motion to approve minutes. Second.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
Public comments. Anybody got anything? I don't see anybody really. Couple. Moving on, committee reports.
Yeah, animal control. We are extremely full out there right now.
A lot of animals, ain't got no space.
So with a little patience, help, maybe things improve out there.
Okay, I have something from the Southern Five. We had the meeting on July 13th. We talked about the Union County Wildlife Plan update. It's going along fine with the Forest Service. And whatever also struck some interest is that during COVID for the year of 2020, and I guess the beginning of 2021, there was a lot of fire departments who had to postpone or cancel their fundraisers, pancake suppers and breakfasts and things like that. And there's actually a grant, assistant grant that they can apply for to offset those costs, and they can be reimbursed from this grant system. And we talked about that, and I'm trying to make the fire departments in Union County aware of that, and they can actually.
This is one of the first ones. So that was what was important. Us three had sat down with Platinum and then really negotiated this out. Like I said, thanks to these two again. And Tyler and I yesterday spoke with Jay from Platinum. We pretty much got everything we wanted questioned answered in there. It's like I said, this new contract, so we want to make sure that everything is in there that we wanted that way. And honestly, I think everything we asked for, we got. So, so it's all answered. It's all in there. We're very protected on this. One of the main things I wanted in there, and I think he agreed as well, is that we wanted if malware or any type of a software hostage type of situation where a third party would come in and hold get into our voter registration or on their end or anything like that, we would not negotiate. We would not spend any money. That was answered yesterday. We got the final answer for that we will not be held responsible for if that should happen. We did learn a little more about the ins and outs of where our information is stored, where how secure it is and things like that. I do feel very comfortable and confident with it. I don't think we wanted to get this contract set up to where if something should happen, we wanted to know where the cards would fall, basically, where we would be at. And these are answered. I don't see any issues with the voter registration. We have a good relationship with them. It works out great, but we just wanted in case something bad should happen, we wanted to know where the county would be at. And so we got those questions answered. I think everything I asked for, said we got in there. So is there
They were
anything?
very transparent. They explained to us, how they were handling things, how things operated, the security levels that they had, measures that they had in place, and a backup system that essentially eliminates a lot of the risks that we have for
Yeah.
well. And they're using big name services that should have substantial security for what we're wanting to do.
Sure.
And Angie and Lance, they worked that thing quite a bit, picking apart every little aspect of it, trying to make sure we guarded ourselves and asked all the right questions. So it's a pretty good agreement. I think they'll probably use it for other people based off of.
I kind of feel, and that's what I kind of feel we were one of the first counties to negotiate one of these contracts, because I've talked to other clerks and nobody else had this software, voter registration contract in our area. So I think we were kind of one of the first ones, and that was why we took this on, and because I think it's going to be reviewed by a lot of other counties and used that do have platinum software. So
Is this something that we just never have done in the past?
apparently not.
We've always paid for it. We've never had a contract. So that's actually where I'm happy about this. And we've never been unhappy with what they billed us. But when it comes to budget time, I'll have Lance get an estimate and they'll estimate it. Well, then price may change before it's billing time. And so then when we would get the bill, it wouldn't match up with what we budgeted. And so for the last couple of years, I've been like, trying to work with Lance and say, listen, we have to know at budget time what we're gonna be paying for the next year. So now we have a contract, it's set in here, the pricing is here, we know exactly what we're gonna be billed, we can budget accordingly, so.
So that's the way they've operated on this.
Kind of in the past, yeah. But it's crazy to think that everybody's kind of worked that way as well with it. So in other counties and things. So that's what when this came up, this contract came up due, and at this time I said, well, I would really like to get a voter registration contract as well for that issue. We thought that audit wise and any taxpayer funds being spent need to be under a contract.
Right.
So that's how we wanted to make sure that was in there. We've also on this agreement have said, listen, this is the contract price. We're all signing it. This is what we're saying, and so that's what it's going to be. So if there's a new cost or something, we'll go through the contract basically to go through. So it's, I think, worked out well for us. I think I feel better being on a contract or something like that. It's also a 5-year agreement, same time as this one. So,
There you go.
so I think it's again, thanks to Angie and Tyler, I think we're looking a little better. Just in case something should happen, we've got
Right.
in language now. So
Resolution for sale of delinquent property held by the county trustee.
Second.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
Next item, resolution appointing members of Southern 7 Board of Health. There's three people, yeah. Cindy Flam, Kathy Swafford, and Bobby Toller Jr. Flam's term begins July 1st, 2021, expiring June 30th, 2024. Swafford begins July 1st, 2020, and expiring on June 30th, 2023. Bobby Toller Jr. for the remainder of the term expiring on June 30th, 2022. Any questions from anybody on this? Yeah, this is just one of the many boards that we'll appoint to. I make a motion, we approve the resolution appointing members of Southern 7 Board of Health, Cindy Flam, Kathy Swafford, and Bobby Toller Jr.
I'll second.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
Okay, again, basic housekeeping, Union County Senior Citizens Contribution. They're needing more money that's already been budgeted for them to be transferred. How much?
6,000.
6,000, that's what we're going to do. I get a motion to give it some.
I'll move.
I'll say.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
Okay, this again falls in the realm of basically housekeeping. Is something that we do. Resolution setting the salary of the public defender. This is set by law based on the percentage of the state's attorney's salary. Anybody have any questions about that? Need it explained any further? We don't
I'll
have,
move, we do it.
we don't have any control over this. It's just a matter of us passing the resolution, so.
I'll say.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
Okay. Next item, tourism grant application. This is from Bald Knob Across the Peace. They're asking for $2,500. This is one that we pretty well do on a regular basis with this group, right?
Well, the Bald Knob Cross had already applied for the normal funding that we give them, and I didn't double check it, but according to this, they already received $5,000, which is about what we give them a year for all their regular events. A gentleman named Jeffrey reached out, and that's the email I forwarded to you guys when they were able to get the concert. They were looking for sponsors. So this did not go in front of the hoot board because of the time and how quickly the concert is. The concert's like the beginning of, well, it's August 7th. So it didn't really have time to go through the hoot board. So I told him, just go ahead and do the application, submit it to me. I would bring it in front of you guys since you're the ones that make the ultimate decision on how the money gets spent anyway. So that's what they're asking for. You have information behind it. The one that looks like this is their budget for the concert. And then this one is just all about the sponsorship for the concert and everything. So that's the information you have.
So next time, see if he can give us some more time before we can get that before the hoot board.
Absolutely. We always bring them before the hoot board. In this situation, it was a concert that they were putting together, kind of last
I
minute.
don't think they've ever done this.
They've never done it,
I
so
mean, it's a brand new deal, and I think time is of the essence.
Yeah, it's always, I mean, what, 2.5 weeks?
Next,
Yes,
as I sent back my email to Angie, I think this is, particularly what we should be doing anyways in supporting the tourism. This could bring, at least thousands of people to our region from outside the area, and I think it should be done.
oh yeah, I think it's very viable. It goes right along the rules that we had set forth.
I listened to the concerns of the hoop board last night. Their concern was that the whole intention of the hoop board is to make sure that people come and they stay all night, bed and breakfast, motels and things like that. And their concern was that maybe a lot of these folks are just like daytime trips, you know what I'm saying? And, but anyway, yeah, next time.
Well, the way it's set up, they'll have to give a report next year on the results of this. So
Yeah.
if I mean, in order to get any more money if they decide to do it again. But,
Max, I don't think that the intention is completely to spend the night in Union County. It's to get people to Union County to spend money, whether it's at the hotels or
But the mission statement,
restaurants or whatever.
the mission statement for the Hoot Board is for overnight bed and breakfast and things of that nature. I mean, we're all for tourism, don't get me wrong. I think this, next time we ought to follow protocol a little bit better.
well, I disagree with you, Commissioner. We are following protocol. The mission statement for us is tourism, it's overnight stays, it's a lot of things, but not just overnight stays. It's providing,
The bed and breakfast board humbly disagrees with you.
you know, they're right. And I'm humbly
Max, I agree completely with you.
disagreeing. It's going to bring spendable money to Union County, and that's part of the mission statement. Yes, overnight is part of it also, and that's what we really want to push, but, anyway.
Well, I want to vote to pass it, given the time constraint. But the next time, I would like to see it go before the Hoot Board and then
Yeah.
to the board.
It would, again, the time was of the essence.
Yeah.
It wasn't trying to shun the Hoot Board,
And we're being rushed.
so, anyway. I make a motion, we approve the amount requested, $2,500 to Ball Nut Across the Peace for their upcoming concert.
I'll second that, Max.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
The next item, we're going to table, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the 911 PTSD appointments, Dale Foster, Bobby Toller. We're gonna make some changes on that, so we'll table it until next meeting. Item H, resolution appointing a commissioner of Union County Housing Authority. I've talked to Ken about this. He is willing to serve on that board. We tried to have a commissioner on there. And Danny Hartline started out that job. He's still on there. He was commissioner and so forth. Had a resignation from the board of another member, so make a motion to appoint Kent Pitts to the committee.
I'll second that.
Commissioner to the Union County Housing Authority.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts, Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think we have anything for executive session, do we? Anybody aware of? Other business.
Yeah, I've got some here. I've been approached by this quite a few times and need to address it, give people an answer. Daryl, this is about you, it's about your social media, post. And, I've got some questions here that they asked me that I'm gonna ask. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna read your, social media post. We're gonna ask you some questions about them, and then you can explain why you wrote it. So, one of the questions was, these people are reading social media posts, and they're wondering if us county commissioners are doing our jobs. So, we're going to answer that. Another concerned citizen was worried that your social media post was ruined, was putting people's trust in jeopardy and the integrity of this county board in jeopardy. And they want to know while you're working so hard against us and not with us. So, want to read one?
You want me to read the,
Yeah,
Post?
somebody's posting, and we got several of these.
this post is from June 26th. It says, "Me sitting here reflecting on yesterday's Union County Board meeting. If we members were frogs on a log, 4 would be croaking the same tune. Mine would be LOL different. Watch on YouTube. You'd see. My perspective of things out in the county are certainly different. I travel from one end to the other and everything in the middle every week. I see and talk to many. The others barely make it out of town and even hear of one running from people at the Elks. Well, yesterday took a package to be mailed at Postal Pal. He was telling me he can't keep U-Haul trucks in Anna. They all leave and none return. Now why is what they are? Heck, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Now why is that? Living in a bubble and denial is a cop-out and an excuse to be lazy and unwilling to see things for what they are. Heck, I even know Lick Creek Road is striped, unlike another commissioner. It is what it is. I won't change. Property in distress around here being scooped up by a few. Wow, they thrive on other people's misfortune and misery. Makes me want to puke, but I'll do my best for you."
So what exactly is the question?
So, are you calling me lazy and telling me I'm not doing my job?
No,
That's what you said.
no.
I mean, do you really know what I do for the county here, what my job as commissioner and all the extra activities I do?
I entered the race with the intentions of doing everything I could for the Union County people.
Right.
Not necessarily the people inside this building, but the people that reside out in the country, from Mill Creek to Saratoga to Panthers Bend. And I hear a familiar message amongst all of them. They would like to have the state pond open again so they can access it and bring their families up there and have fun.
But you do know State Pond, we had no interest. The county has no
That's just
interest.
one instance. That's just one instance. And the very first meeting, I was shot down, that no, we're not gonna do that. Well, that runs totally opposite of what the Union County people want, whether you want to believe it or not. And that's just one instance.
Well, let me ask you something on that basis. The state of Illinois owns the state farm.
They do that.
And they have for some time. We have nothing to do with it. I mean, saying you're shot down, why does that make you want to criticize and call the commissioners names? That's not getting along, Darrell.
Well,
I mean, that's not proving anything but making everybody look bad.
the whole purpose of this board in any government, state, federal, is to serve the people.
I totally agree.
And that's exactly
Well,
what.
that's
I feel
what we
like I'm
do.
doing.
And this board should be working on getting the state pond open for the people of this county. It's just like UTVs. I tried to give the people that reside in the rural areas the same rights as the people in the city limits have to ride their UTVs.
Well, you need to check out your facts on all of that, because you're putting stuff in here that is not true. Absolutely not true. And when we sit here and we discuss an item like that, which we have every couple of years, the sheriff tells us, you don't want to do this. It's not just us. The highway engineer tells us what it's going to cost. Our insurance company tells us, don't do this. Then we have to make decisions looking out for all the people in Union County, financially and other ways. So, I mean, it's like if you don't get your way, you're gonna take your ball and go home.
No, I'm not going home.
But I mean, you're bringing up the same things over and over, and each time you do, you criticize the rest of us, and more so me than anybody, on social media. And
And I will say this too, people out in the country which they're the majority of the residents in this county. It isn't the city of Hannah, it isn't the people in Jonesboro.
Daryl, everybody in the country is not in favor of ATVs.
No, let me finish. They resent having county commissioners elected to lead them who reside in the city limits and do not abide by the same rules.
You don't
and
think I don't
regulations.
get out and about? I'm in this county, I go through this county every day.
I've lived in the country before,
Yeah,
during my lifetime.
That's true enough.
Can I speak for a second?
Yes.
You know, Daryl, I understand that you're out around in the county regularly and you're criticizing all of us. I have property in the northern part, the southern part, the western part. I've had my properties on a regular basis, not daily. And to be accused of staying in Hannah, Illinois, in my own little property, in my own little house, and not getting out, I'm probably out more among people than most of the commissioners that we've frankly have in the past.
Well, that's true enough. But being since you're in the city limits, you get to use your UTV and same as Max and the other people that you're telling no, they can't.
but it's not the county's board to tell people if they can drive anything on the road, and it's not our job to tell them they can't.
I'm just using that. as an
Can
example.
I say something again?
Yeah.
I ran in a commissioner from Alexander County in a roundabout way, and he said it was the worst decision that they've ever made, passing that ordinance. On top of that, I haven't researched it, but he indicated that there are several lawsuits on the books right now. I don't know if that's true, but that was what was indicated to me.
But, call me lazy and unwilling, but you're leading people to believe that you're the only commissioner working for them, which is so far from the truth.
And let me ask you a question related, and I'm done talking about the ATVs. The day you made the motion and we voted that down, did you not go into Angie's office and tell her that we just ought to pass it and ignore the laws of the state of Illinois?
No,
Bro,
change the laws in the state of Illinois. Work with our representatives to change the laws. It has to come from the grassroots. It's not going to come from the top down.
I understand how that works. I just wanted to get an answer from you on that statement.
Okay?
How many times a week do you come into the courthouse other than
Well, I've been advised to come in for the meetings. I have not been advised to come in any other time. So are you telling me that there's other meetings through the week making other decisions?
No, I just come in and see if he's keeping up on county business.
Because I do know if there is, we have to have 3 for a quorum,
That's right.
and we have to post an open meeting.
I think what he's getting at is, and I'll just be very blunt, you show up twice a month. You don't look at your email packet because you don't look at your emails. You don't know what's on the agenda until you get here. And then you go through it and trying to figure out and answer questions. You're not serving anybody in the county.
So how many times have you told me to come up here?
Why should I have to, nobody tells me to come up here. Would you not, as a commissioner, think you ought to come in here and maybe talk to Angie and see what's going on?
She's got my telephone number.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go to another, okay.
Now, I will say this too. I have the First Amendment of the Constitution. And I do know my rights. And you fellows have the same rights. And we all enjoy them, thanks to a lot of good veterans who never made it home. And so, it's just what it is.
I know, but we're just asking you, I mean,
We just want some answers.
We just want some
to
answers.
What you're actually talking about.
and these are questions from citizens. This is not from me or anybody on the board, these are the people out there. So, all right. Done.
Let me read this second one.
Really say.
It's from May 27th. It says, want to tell you something or two. You see, I'm a Union County Commissioner in addition to a business owner. My customers and now constituents come first, period. The county has been slammed hard in years past with business closures, empty houses, and high taxes. No, I'm not happy about that at all, just like you. Things are being discussed at the county level to make our county better, at least from my perspective. For at least the last 8 years, the minutes to the county board meetings put onto the county site for all to see. It's been brought to my attention now more than once the minutes are not there. Coincidentally, when I took office. You deserve to, and it's your right to know what's going on up there. It's your tax dollars whom pay everyone up there. I'm not going to tolerate these petty actions. Some of our citizens have hearing impediments, so YouTube meetings really aren't an option. The Americans with Disabilities Act gives people certain rights, and I'm sure they are being violated. And if the minutes to your county board meetings, whether an oversight or intentional, the proper authorities will be notified. So let's play ball, guys. Batter up. Just thought I'd let you know.
Lance, did we break any rules there?
Well, I mean, no, I mean, we've always put the minutes on the website, just, you don't have to. There's other counties that don't put their minutes on the website. There's no statute requiring that, so
So
no.
we didn't break any laws.
No.
What authorities did you contact?
I didn't have to contact any.
Again, back to you coming in, and instead of putting that on social media and trying again to make Lance, the rest of us look like we're hiding something or doing something wrong, why would you not come in and ask Angie, why is this going on? Or call if you don't want to come in and find out why it happened. There was a reason why it happened, and you've been told since then why. It wasn't intentional, accidental, or nothing.
Well, a lot of this is because I'm the new guy. Some of it is their responsibility.
You should really know what you're talking about before you put this stuff on social media.
I mean, that made it sound like we, as a board, and were hiding stuff, when in fact, it was a problem in the system that we knew and was addressing. But you didn't bother to ask anybody. You put it out there trying again to accuse everybody of wrongdoing.
Well, I'm just glad that everything is in place, as it should be.
Yeah, it was when you posted that.
The Jonesboro Square. I remember when every building had a business in it. All of them. A grocery store, more places to eat, a five and dime. We all remember. Down the street was a lumberyard even. State policies and county inaction have taken its toll on poor Jonesboro. Massac County just had its national archery meet. Attracted thousands of tourists and much needed dollars to the community. Hooray for them. Jonesboro has a location of which to do the same kind of thing. The State Pond, just a couple of minutes from town. A place for recreation and events to draw tourists and dollars, all of which would shop Jonesboro first and dine there. The people and citizens are being denied and robbed of these opportunities. People should have went to jail, even in Springfield. We could even turn Jonesboro around, but not with the county board we have at present.
Just how much money is this state pond gonna bring the county? I mean, just how many thousand
We
dollars?
was actually talking about the state pond last night at the hoop meeting, and we're all in agreement that it should be reopened. Just last night, you can talk to the other members. And our aspect is, our outlook is, it's another tool in our toolbox to bring Union County around. It's not going to be just one silver bullet. It's going to be multiple things that turn us around. And I think people want to be more open-minded.
So how many hundreds of thousands of dollars do you think it'd take to get this state pond going? And what do you think would be the rate?
You know, actually, you put me on the Southern Five Planning Commission down there in Illinois. There's money available. There's more than enough money available for them kind of things. And had the county decided to take it back over, we could actually find a contractor or somebody who wanted to open up a canoe rental or something like that, and they would manage that campground down there, and it wouldn't be nothing out on us, except we would be leading the way to get it reopened. And I've actually found money down there, Southern Five, for a local garbage transfer station for the community and for recycling. And I know where the property is. It's already bought and paid for. The money is available for that. And expanding on that, I know a couple of companies that would be interested in managing that for the county itself. And the county would get a tipping fee of so much per ton to run the recycling for free at the same facility. But,
Yeah, I think that would be a conflict of interest.
of course you would, but you don't drive around through the country and see the mattresses and the couches filled
I'm
out.
not
either.
asking about that. I said, do you not think that would be a conflict of interest on your part to even discuss that in your business? And be
Well,
the
you
county
would think
commissioner?
that. You would think that because you're against everything.
Okay, thank you, Darrell.
And that's another thing too, another question here. They want to know why the newly commissioned is so against the chairman. What is it that you hate about him so much?
Pardon me?
What is it that you hate about the chairman? Why are you not getting along with him? That's another question.
With who?
Max.
Max. I'm hoping to get along with anybody. You know, it's just like,
Well, I mean, here in your post, I mean, you're always, you know, you're slamming him.
I don't have the post in front of me. I don't know if it's printed there or not.
I've never said that I dislike anybody on this board.
Well,
And just because I don't agree with you guys don't mean I don't like you.
but you don't have to call us names and call out,
Call us lazy and worthless and everything else.
involve our families in some of your posts.
Families?
Well, I've got, yeah, okay. Well, let me go ahead and I'll look for something here. Go ahead and continue, Ken.
Yeah, pretty much done with that one.
I've already talked about Lori Dale. I don't remember. I don't see people her in.
What the, boy, you know.
This one's from June 6th. It says, been on the Union County Board for 6 months. Our county has a declining population, plenty of empty houses and storefronts. With that being said and fact, here we go. Creativity and originality. The county gets a D. The first meeting I had suggested and had citizens lined up to be on committees to bring forth ideas to make Union County better. Decline. Sorry, just fact. Transparency. Meetings and minutes during COVID. A C-. The YouTube videos and minutes on the county website should have been freely and consistently available for all to see and hear. Let's not hide them. I'm certainly not ashamed of anything. Honesty. A C. This has to do with the Second Amendment sanctuary resolution. Before I was there, a presentation was given to the board and was supported by several concerned citizens. They agreed at the specific resolution. Fact. What came down months later was one that was not agreed upon at the meeting, but a much watered down version and not aligned with the majority of Illinois counties. Didn't come out until later. Not good. Class participation, a C. During the meetings when the board is supposed to discuss matters, I try. 5 people, 5 opinions. Nope, don't happen. Open-mindedness, gosh, should let you do that one. Can you say side-by-sides? Supported by many, stopped by a handful. Sad. State Pond, the money is there, seen it myself. Nope, in conclusion, it's your county. A local election is coming up, and that will set the local agenda for many years to come to your home county. It's up to you.
I will say this. And it's been getting back to me that some people, I suppose even in this room, said that I wasn't a Republican. I remember, and this is just a side note, the first meeting I went to at the Republican meeting over in the city of Hannah to announce that I'm running for the county board, I was grabbed by the side of the arm and told that the other county commissioners had rather me not run, that they can actually work with the commissioner there that's there now, which would have been Bobby Toller Jr. This was before I even stepped foot in the room, which Bobby Toller Jr. is a Democrat. And this is a Republican meeting, and they're telling me that the Republican commissioners had rather have Bobby Toller Jr. because they worked with him. And as a matter of fact, I told this fella, I said, you don't worry about that. Because he told me there was no money available for my campaign. I said, don't worry about that, I'm a big boy. I'll take care of myself. So from the get-go, I've had to be very, very independent. And when it comes to the Second Amendment and the Constitution of the United States, I'm a very staunch supporter of it. And I'll protect it the best I can.
Let me stop you right there, because what you posted on there was totally incorrect. It is not the truth. I'm big on the Second Amendment too. Everybody in this room is. You posted that we did a resolution not like was presented to us that day. We most certainly did. The man presented us two ways to do it. The Republicans brought him here. We had put him on the agenda. He spoke. He gave us two options. He told us, you weren't here. He told us either one is fine. Several counties have done this one, several have done this one.
We recommended that certain one.
And he recommended it. That's what we printed off and signed. Oh, listen to me. We didn't change anything. That's what we agreed on that day. That's what we printed, and that's what we signed. We didn't change anything.
The disagreement comes with, you agreed at this meeting on one.
And that's what we did.
That same one we agreed on, that's the one we.
That's the one we printed up on his recommendation, and it agreed with several other counties in the state of Illinois. So your facts are
It
wrong.
must have come out differently.
Yeah, okay, it didn't. You didn't check the facts. You just were told we didn't do this. I mean, again,
Well, anyway.
you need to check facts with people here that know and have been here a while.
That's where the disagreement would come in. And there's a lot of people out there who would disagree with you right now.
That's fine. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. You, him, anybody. I don't. I have my own opinion. You've got your own.
Yep.
And the First Amendment allows you to do it. But I think the point we're trying to make to you, what you're doing on social media is not reflecting that, it's not reflecting anything other than this is a terrible board and we don't do anything. And when in fact, just like a couple meetings ago, when we got the bond report, you know, it was, that shows you right there, there's several counties that have joined us that are in terrible shape,
This is true.
and we're not.
Yep, this is true.
So I don't appreciate being called names and told this, that, and the other. And I'll go back to another post that I don't think she has a copy of it. But you posted at one time, and I'm not gonna be able to read it or remember it verbatim, but it was accusing me of basically getting a friend in an office in here, extra money for doing a job, and also in that same post, you brought up the fact of the animal control vehicle and brought basically the way I read it, my family into it, because I arranged to get that vehicle bought, who my son owns part of the business that it was purchased from. There was a third thing in there pertaining to me. You know, again, if you want to participate in all that stuff, everybody else on this board is out trying to find the vehicle.
So wouldn't you call that a conflict of interest?
No, I would not. When a salesman that makes a living in Union County, lives in Union County, calls up and says, hey, I may have found you a vehicle. So I researched it. I called and asked, do us a favor, money-wise. No, I don't call that a conflict of interest. And furthermore, I mean, how else would you do it? I mean,
Put it out for bids.
you don't
bid on.
you don't do bids on used vehicles.
You could, and you should have in that case.
Okay, well, again, I resent you bringing my family into it on a post on Facebook,
He was involved.
huh?
Wasn't he involved?
Yeah, he was. he was involved to the point of saving the county some money and helping us find a vehicle.
But you just got through saying that I had a conflict of interest, but you don't.
No, that's, you compare apples to oranges, Darrell. You compare apples to oranges. And then again, accusing me, you had no idea about that position in there. It's still, as a matter of fact, in litigation, but it was mandated from the state of Illinois to make that position, and we put who in it we thought could do it and agreed to do it for a certain amount of money. Nothing more. You know, again,
Hey,
75% of the stuff you put on here is not factual, is what I'm telling you. You can believe that or not. Yes, sir.
What's the purpose of that position that we're talking about?
It's,
He's in litigation. We're talking about that.
yeah.
Is there any argument that it's a detriment to the county?
The position is a
Yeah.
detriment?
No,
No, it's fulfilling state law that was mandated to us. We didn't ask for it.
is there another one?
There is another one. Can I make a comment, Max, on the vehicle, just because we've talked about it, I know so people listen that they know. I know that you did contact Codes here that looked for it, but just to clarify, we did not buy the vehicle from Codes and Anna anyway. The vehicle ended up being Codes out of Cape Girardeau, which I had to go over there, make it two different trips, one to buy it, one to pick it up at a later date to bring it back, because Codes and Anna was able to help us find the best deal for, it was very difficult to find a vehicle for the price we were getting from the insurance for the check that had, or the truck that had been totaled for them. So we ended up not even buying it from them. They just assisted us. Max did talk to them. They were able to get Codes and Kate to lower the price because it was more than what we had to pay. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that that's where we bought the vehicle from. And then with regards to the bidding out, just so it's clear, we bid out contracts all the time that are less. But per state statute, you're required to bid it out over $30,000. So I just want everyone to know, and you to know, Darrell, I would never let something come through that was illegal. So if somebody tried to buy something over $30,000 without bidding it out, I'd be the first one to red flag it and say, no, you've got to go bid this out. But it wasn't anywhere close to $30,000. It was closer to $10,000. So it didn't have to be bid out. Yes, we could have, but it didn't have to be. But with a used vehicle, I don't know how you bid out a used vehicle anyway.
I spent a lot of my own time,
I
my
know.
own D-Spiel, driving to different dealerships around Southern Illinois, looking at vehicles. man.
So did I. So did the vehicles.
Test driving them the whole 9 yards.
The last one you have here is from June 18th. It's a picture of Margaret's Diner, and it says, "This was Margaret's Diner in Jonesboro, closed and moved to Texas. As a Union County Commissioner, these closures bother me, but I'm by myself in my beliefs. Good luck in the Lone Star State."
How are you by yourself whenever I myself is working on things to bring business in here?
Well, that brings me up to a statement one time that Max said. It's in record this meeting. And I can't remember quite what we was talking about. But he made the point and the statement that he was concerned about layoffs here at the courthouse. Made no mention of the layoffs outside this courthouse. But there's been multiple layoffs and closures in the years past. And I really actually believe that the people outside the courthouse need representation too, besides the courthouse. The hundreds and hundreds of people that lost their jobs at Money Bread and Transcraft, Hogan's. And we need to look beyond this building And that's my concern about that. I'm,
And you think we don't?
well, in that statement, that one particular day.
I was
you did-
referring to the courthouse because we run the courthouse.
That's true enough. That's true.
It had nothing to
But
do
also-
with anybody else.
Also, again, it's the voters outside that put us
And
here.
again, putting that post on there about that restaurant makes it sound like that we're not in favor of, do you know why they left? Why they closed it?
I know one of the reasons.
And what was that?
You got another job.
How about a divorce?
Well, that, and you got another, I mean, I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Well, I'm just saying, but you're making it sound like we're running the county and running businesses off.
Well,
Tell
by
the whole story.
not being proactive,
Oh, come on, Darrell.
by not being proactive on this particular board in a roundabout way, yeah, we are contributing.
Okay,
And that's my opinion.
okay, that's fine.
And I'm not running anybody down.
You're entitled.
A little constructive criticism sometimes goes a long way with some people.
Well, I'm here to tell you that you're getting very personal with your constructive criticism. Now, you've got First Amendment rights, and I can't stop you. You can put anything on there you want to put on there. But you are, and I agree with Kent, I got people asking me all the time, what in the hell is wrong with this guy?
And that's the only reason I brought that, so they, just like you, when somebody asks you to address something, do you not address it? Yes, you do. And just like me, they asked me to address this, and that's what I addressed.
I mean,
We run in different crowds, that's for sure.
And we do. But you know, as myself, as commissioner, among all these other collateral duties that I have, the collateral duty is a job that coincides with your primary job. My primary job is here. I'm assigned animal control. I handle, the union disputes, negotiations and stuff. Now I'm over the, I'm with the housing authority. But I do have I mean, here a couple of meetings ago, I mean, you did hear them people saying, I've been working on projects with different community members on different things. Trying to get a gas station here, trying to do this and trying to do that. I work for it every day.
you don't have a clue what any of us have done in the county. You don't have a clue. You're just assuming we don't do anything for anybody. And that is so far from being the truth.
The reason I don't put it out on social media or tell anybody what I'm doing is for a simple reason. A person is remembered more for his failures than he ever will his accomplishments. That is human nature. That's what humans do. So that's why I don't say I don't like anybody, because,
May I say something?
yeah,
Darrell, are you aware of the ALS manufacturing that's come to town?
Hey, no, I don't guess I am.
Okay, they bought the old Holcomb building on the left side of the road. They moved to Union County, Indiana specifically as a request of mine. He's a friend of mine. He's currently looking for 2 additional fabricators to work there. He's already got 3 hired. This is a result of efforts and hard work that I put in. I don't go out suggest that it was because of me. I don't suggest that I'm the one that brought them to town, because it's not any value. They did come to town. That's the important part. We all need to recognize we're all working for this county.
What building did you buy?
the old Hopeless building. He's been in business there for a while, and he's trying to expand and hire new people.
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
he's expanded out of Chicago because he wanted to move to this region. There are hundreds of people that are wanting to move to Union County, particularly because of COVID. And talk to the realtors right now, there's 169 homes, I understand, that were on the multiple listings. That number's down, I understand, to 130, and there's 30 more that are about to be closed. So that means there's only about 100 homes still on, available to purchase. And the idea that this area is not growing is ridiculous. This area is growing leaps and bounds. Now, businesses and small businesses are struggling, but I don't know that there's anything that our county can do to help them.
well, I suppose we'll have a more accurate number when the census comes out, although it'll be a little bit delayed.
I'm not sure that the census number will be accurate because a lot of this has happened within the last 18 months. prior to when the census was completed, prior to COVID. But I think our county looked at all you talked about all the empty homes and the first, fail site around. That's not the case. Drive around, look around in the city, look around in the country. They're not there.
Well, I would probably beg different some.
Well, all I can say is I would appreciate, you don't have to, a little more respect from you on what I do, what the other commissioners do, instead of calling us names on social media. I don't know what that gets you, but obviously it makes you feel good.
No.
So, because it looks terrible, and, I just,
The people, the reason why they pay so much attention to it, how they explained to me was that you're not a normal citizen talking about the county board. You're a county board member talking about the county board in the manner that you do. And that's what makes it serious.
No.
That's
It's my opinion, a lot of it is my opinion. And
Yeah.
everybody is entitled to their.
And that's right, but people on social media are looking at your opinions in a totally different way and taking it as a failure on our part. It's obvious, you guys are not doing your job, so we want to know why you're not doing your job. If it's true, then we need a different board up there right now. What you
Well,
said.
it's pretty obvious from the get-go, you guys didn't want me over here.
I mean, what's that
From the
gonna
very,
do?
very beginning. And
so you're out to get us because of that?
No, but
Sure looks
it's
like it.
obvious why you're,
But you're here now. You're here now. You
This
need
is
to
so
work
true.
with this instead of against us.
and vice versa,
Right.
and vice versa. Don't you agree with that?
I totally agree. I mean, we've only disagreed on a couple of things you brought up.
And the one, I was going to work with some different groups of people, committees, to give this particular board more insight and more ideas. And, the very first meeting or two, and that was shot down too. And I had some very, very fine citizens lined up to work for us.
Well, like I told you at the time then, Darrell, we have a lot of committees, we have a lot, and that you didn't even know about. I appointed you to a couple of them. We have open board meetings where people can come and discuss whatever they want to with us, and we take it under consideration. I'm sorry, I do disagree with you on that as the way to run a county government or a city government. You just don't do that. I'm sorry, and that's not putting anybody down or not wanting to hear their ideas.
I will say this, it was done in the past years like that, with Leroy Roman and Don Denny and that particular era.
I served with Tom Benny. I don't think there was any,
Yeah, there was actually a state law committee.
well, way back then, there was a lot of problems with the state pond. I'm not even gonna talk about the state pond, so, but
I was just using that as an example.
well, yeah, and we appoint people to different things to look at different things now. But as far as just letting anybody in the community form a committee to give us or tell us whatever, no.
Not tell us. Advise
Anyway,
us.
neither here nor there, but, you can be upset with me all you want, that's fine. But again, I'm just telling you this publicly, and in this meeting, I totally resent you bringing my family into it, and I totally resent you saying things about me that are not true. That's slander, and I don't appreciate it whatsoever, and that's all I'll say.
But yet you can say that I have my own personal interest for helping to provide some kind of a means for the county and the citizens to have recycling and someplace to take an old couch.
If that's the case, go out and do it yourself.
Do you see me start my own library?
That's the way I feel, so. You don't like me?
No, it has nothing to.
Well, obviously it does,
No,
because
it's-
when we elected chairman for this year, he voted no. I've never seen that happen with anybody, and I've been on here for a long time. That told me right off the bat that we were gonna have a problem.
Yeah, and when I entered that first meeting over at the Republicans, and they told me that the county commissioners had rather me not run as a Republican because they can work with a Democrat, yeah,
Obviously, it's proven.
yeah, and you didn't even give it a chance.
Yeah, okay. It's proved the point, that's all I'm saying.
Let's close it down.
All right. Anybody got anything else? Motion to
Next, I'll
adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.